Good afternoon, everyone. In fact, are we still on afternoon? Good evening, guys. So honestly, Armageddon imminent. So what's happened recently? So the Russian press secretary, the official spokesperson basically of the Kremlin, is now referring to America as an enemy. And I just don't know how long it's going to be before normal people start to realise and start to take heed of what's actually happening and the rhetoric. Yesterday's video I talked about, before when I was starting, it was a little bit of a rant. I was talking about the cost of living and how I used to buy chicken in, I think it's like chicken in white sauce from a certain supermarket. And I was absolutely outraged that it had gone up now to £2 a can. Guys, honestly, I'm not even kidding you. I went to the same store today and they had the stewed steak, which, as I understand it, was the same price as all the tin stuff was the same, and this has gone up now to £3.25. Guys, people just can't afford to pay this much. It's ridiculous now. I think people are starting to wake up and people are starting to store food. People are starting to store tinned food. People are starting to stock up on water. Everybody knows what's coming, guys, but you know the reality is mainstream media, and looking at the articles that I'm going to talk about today, what a lot of them do is they literally just cut and paste from one provider will just cut and paste into the other one, and then they'll regurgitate that as their own analysis. But anyway, guys, so much has been happening. We've got Russian escalations, we've got dodgy gas deals in Ukraine, we've got obviously the cost of living crisis, we've got 1,000 drones being sent to Ukraine by the UK. So guys, I know you guys time is valuable, so let me just get right into it. So basically, guys, let me just quickly caveat back. When I was thinking about this, and I spoke about this before, but when you're buying food now, everybody should do this. They should not think of it as buying something to eat. You should think of that as an investment, because the amount of, I don't even think gold's gone up in that. I don't think gold has gone up that much. In that short space of time. It's ridiculous, guys. Okay, so just a little bit of a warning for everybody. Start to think of food as an investment that you can eat. I don't know about you, but I can't eat a gold bar. Anyway, guys, I'll leave that with you. So Dmitry Peskov, who is Dmitry Peskov, he's been around a while. He's not just some guy who they've put in that position. He started his career in the 90s. He's worked for the Foreign Office. He's a really well-respected guy in Russia in those circles. So when he comes out and he says things like, referring to the United States as an enemy, not somebody who's supplying one of their proxies, not somebody who's an ally of their enemies, not a supporter of one of their enemies, but as an actual enemy. Guys, the rhetoric has gone up now, and then what you find is rhetoric, something will happen and everything will just go into mist. Guys, we are living in absolutely crazy times. Really interesting to watch, and we need to understand the significance of that one little word. Because once you start talking about somebody as an enemy, that gets public opinion. That gets opinion on your side. That dictates the narrative, influences people's thoughts, and starts getting people ready for what is coming. Excuse me. So, also in the Ukraine space, there's so for those of you who don't know, Ukraine has a deal with a Russian gas company. Basically, as I understand it, Ukraine lets the Russian gas company Gazprom use the Ukrainian infrastructure to transit their gas through Ukraine to Europe. I don't know how this is happening in the middle of the war, but it is, and they're still paying each other, and I guess everybody's fine, so what's this war really about? But that comes to an end at the end of this year, and the Ukrainians have said they're not going to renew that contract. So remember a few videos ago, and I said, all wars are fought over resources. Well, the gas, where's that gas from Europe going to come from? Where is it going to come from? Well, let me just throw some things out there. In 2014, Hunter Biden, very strangely, became like a member of, I'll put the links in the description as always. Hunter Biden became a member of, on the board of one of these large Ukrainian gas companies. I'll put, like I said guys, I'll put the link in the description. Now, it's very interesting that things have evolved now where Hunter Biden has got, where the Biden family have got the potential, their family have got the potential now to divert the gas from Ukraine to fill Europe. I don't know how much money these guys will be making. I don't know if they'll be making any money at all. But it's really interesting that this is happening now, and you know, everybody just seems to be in those positions, which leads me back and makes my mind wonder to what really happened in 2014. Did they have prior knowledge of this back in 2014? Did they know in 2014 that there'd be a Russian invasion and that all this stuff had happened, and that this is all this by design? Because it's very difficult for you to look at this and think, right, randomly Hunter Biden just becomes, you know, just starts working for one of these, for the biggest gas producer in Ukraine, just totally out of the blue. All right, okay, because that's normal. And then all of a sudden his father gets elected as US president. Some people say it was under, what do we say, suspicious circumstances. I don't know. That's what other people are saying. But they're the reality of this. That's the reality of the situation and what really happened. So when you put all these things together, Hunter Biden heavily involved with Ukrainian energy, gas, Biden, war, all this stuff happening. It kind of makes sense if you look back on it and if you look at the path and you think, oh, okay, these guys always knew there was going to be a war, so look how they've positioned themselves to profit vastly from this. I don't know, guys. Maybe they're not profiting. Maybe all the money's going to charity and helping the poor. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. So, finally, guys, and I'm going to keep this one really short today. So, finally, it's been in the UK, in the Independent. Well, let me just read you the headline, guys, okay? Ukraine-Russia war. Latest, : Moscow ready to strike French troops as UK sends Kiev 1,000 drones. Okay, so in your head now, what do you picture when you hear that, 1,000 drones? Are you picturing, like, you know, things flying in the sky, dropping bombs, doing all sorts of destruction? Because I am, you know. Okay, so let's have a little deeper dive into it. So let me read you some more, actually. Let me read you the key thing here, guys. So here it comes, guys. So they're talking about the yada with the, you know, Russians threatening the French areas. It comes as Britain is seeking to send 1,000 first-person view drones to Ukraine as part of an international support coalition. So what I did, guys, I had to look at this and I was like, what does that even mean? What is a drone? Because a drone can literally cover such a wide topic. You can have the, you know, these global hawk things that are like, I have no idea how much they cost. Or you can have literally one that you pay £5 from like a supermarket or whatever on the toy section. You can call them both drones and then you get everything in between. So I wanted to know, what are we actually talking about? So I actually found on the UK government website the call, basically, what they're talking about. The dates line up and everything's the same. So in February, the UK and Latvia announced that they would lead the new drone capability coalition designed to rapidly supply Ukraine with tens of thousands of first-person view drones. So first-person view drones basically means you put the goggles on and you're controlling it. Now, these ones are predominantly what's being used to take out Russian tank tracks. But again, it doesn't really give anything on this. It doesn't tell anything about this. It just says first-person views. Now, it says companies have until the 28th of June, and of course, guys, I'll put this in the link to the description. Companies have until 28th of June 2014 to submit their proposals, which will then be considered by the drone capability members and evaluated. Successful companies will receive orders to supply the drones to Ukraine, and upon receipt positive operational feedback, the intent is to place a larger follow-up orders. So basically, they're putting out the call, they're seeing what people can deliver, and then they're going to give them a small order, and then if the small order succeeds, they're going to give them, you know, they're going to give them a bigger order. Ah, here it is, guys. Yeah, basically, yeah. First-person view drones have proven highly effective on the battlefield since Russia's full-scale invasion, providing Ukrainian operators with situational awareness to target enemy positions, armored vehicles, and ships with explosive ordnance. Yeah. So basically, we're looking at the Ukrainians now and thinking, wow, you guys have developed your drones a lot quicker. We want to help supply you, but we want to be able to produce them ourselves. So I was trying to look for the cost, because on there it doesn't give anything on the cost. Anyway, so I managed to find the cost, and again, guys, I'll put all these links in the I'll put all these links for you. So the contract is basically unmanned combat vehicles, 356-13100. Value of contract. Here we go, guys. Okay, so remember the image that we all got of these, these deathly things stalking the sky and, destroying things and, really devastating. Value of contract, £300,000. Okay, fair. You can do some good stuff with £300,000. Okay, and then it goes for, and that is for 20 units. So 300 grand for 20 units. So let's do the maths, guys. Okay. 300 grand, 20 units, you've got £15,000 per unit. Okay, right. 20% in tax. That's a minimum, guys, okay? Your parts, your labour, everything, there'll be 20% tax on that. So 20% back to the government. Excuse me. So that gives us 12,000. Then you've got, say, like 10% profit. So you're looking at like £10,800. Call it £11,000. Then so £11,000 to build this drone. What are they expecting? Some camera systems cost, a good camera system bought from source will cost £20,000 at least. Then you've got to fit it, then you've got to put it into a gimbal, then you've got to configure everything with your control station. Guys, I don't know what they're expecting to produce with this, with this call. It makes absolutely no sense to me at all. So for £11,000 for the UK to produce these, the reality is we will send them, bits of junk that probably don't work, because we can't build these things in the UK. We don't have the experience, we don't have the facilities, we don't have the ability to test and adjust these things. What do I mean by that? If you're building like an unmanned aircraft and it's over a certain weight, I think it's something ridiculously small. I want to say it's 250 grams, which is like a quarter of a bag of sugar. You have to have it actually registered. I think it's like an aeroplane or something. It's absolutely crazy. So for these companies now, so remember what we said about, military industrial complex, that, me and you wouldn't be able to get into it and they'd just 10x the price. So if me and you wanted to build a drone and we wanted to apply for this contract, and we wanted to fly something that's not being tested, that's not been certified, that's not being approved, we would have the red tape that we would have to jump through is just unbelievable. Now, if we wanted to supply something that could actually carry a decent payload, like they're talking about here, that could have explosive ordnance in it, guys, forget about it. Forget about doing this in the UK. It's just not going to happen. You're never going to you're never going to be able to, you're never going to find the airspace to test this in the UK. It's practically impossible. So, this, this coal and this, so let's read the, so let's go back to the headline and read it again, shall we? Where are we? This one? Not that one. No. Where are we? I've lost it. Here we are. Yeah. So, Russia ready to strike French troops as UK sends 1,000 drones. When we get to the, when we get to the weeds of that and find the roots, the reality is what they're going to get for the money is not much at all. My advice would be to find the cheapest, the cheapest off-the-shelf Chinese model and just send that, because you're going to get so much more for your money. But anyway, guys, that's just my opinion. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.